Good evening, my fellow Archagers. Welcome to the Aurorian Age. My name's No Touchy. We have Jack Ray, Spin, and our special guest tonight, Nice Trick. Welcome,
Hello.
guys. All right,
Thanks.
so let's start with in my top corner, Jack Ray. How you been doing this week?
I've been doing good. Things have been pretty busy lately. We've been talking a lot with Nice Trick and the other folks over at Reverence about some stuff they're not quite ready to unveil yet, but we might get to it later. Might give you a sneak peek. But we're working on some fun stuff in game. It's going to be awesome. There's been I don't know. I don't want to spoil it. All right, spoiler alert. Yeah, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. I was accepted the position of first officer with Grievance, so that happened yesterday. So that was pretty exciting. I'm
Congratulations.
definitely looking forward to being a part of that. So this was a very eventful week.
Cool. Cool.
Also became a charter member with Grievance Organizations the same
Oh,
day. It
that's
was kind of
awesome.
yeah,
Congratulations.
kind of a
Let's
big day
touch
for
on-
me.
Yeah, let's touch on that really quick, since it's kind of just an added thing. Like, I don't know, I believe it's still open. Charter membership in Grievance. It gives you a lot of good benefits and things like that. I think it's $250 to become a charter member. And it's still open as far as I know. So if you guys are interested in that, it'll help the organization as a whole in terms of some of the things that we have going on. Such as keeping the website running, TeamSpeak, Skype. And also Pensacon coming up soon. So those things cost money, and so therefore, it will help us, as an organization going forward. So if you guys are interested in that, there's a post on the forum made by Steel, and just follow the instructions there if you guys are interested in doing that. It'll help us grow and to be an even bigger presence in all the games that we are represented in. So
Essentially,
do it.
it's a donation that shows your commitment to the organization. It's been a couple years, I think, since it's been open to people. And as a charter member, you get to attend all the council meetings and you get to have your say on the future of the guild. And I think it's a really good deal. Certainly, Cedar thinks very highly of it. He's a charter member, and now Jack.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
awesome.
excited.
That is awesome. All right, Spin, since you've started, go ahead and continue. How have you been this past week?
Life has been good. A little busy in real life, but sometimes it interferes with the game, and there's nothing you can do about it. So it's a little tight this week. But last weekend was the fun part, and that was Serpentis. And I think we'll save that, and we'll delve into it a little bit later because Jack's got a video. We got some funny stories. We laughed. We cried. It's going to be a worthwhile chat.
All righty. And our guest tonight, Nice Trick. How are you tonight? And just say hi to our folks out there in Grievance Land.
Hi, everybody in Grievance, and everyone hopefully in Reverence who's watching.
Yes, absolutely.
Things have been pretty good. Like Jack Ray said, we've got some fun stuff hopefully in the works. Just about ready to go. Still a couple little more kinks we got to work out, so hopefully we can touch a little bit on that later. But things have been good.
Good,
I'm
good.
enjoying gaming.
Yeah, that's the whole point, right? What's the use of
Right.
doing it if you're not enjoying it? Well, No Touchy here. It actually has been a really busy week. Real life, interfering with game time, which kind of was annoying, but I have been getting in the game and getting some grinding done. Hopefully, I'll be able to join you guys at Serpentis sometime soon, since you guys with 9 people can kill the first boss. I can imagine what we could do with 10.
Yep.
One more DPS.
There's
So,
another
I'm-
spoiler. This is all about spoilers today, isn't
It's
it?
all about spoilers. That is the title of the cast. Spoiler alert.
I'm
So-
pretty sure some of the other bosses require 10 because you need 10 wings to get through some of them.
Ah,
So you guys got to make sure you get on people about leveling Oromancy.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
well, my character is an Arc Master, so I have them all. So
Oh,
Well, move aside, everybody. Move aside.
good night. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get to the grievance news. Let's start with the fun activities that have been heating up in the guild again. Guild events, be it TP runs. I'm not sure what TP runs are.
Trade pack. Trade pack. No, we're not gonna go
Not
TP.
toilet
We're not gonna go TP the Slayer's house.
Why
All right,
not?
we needed
That'd be
Charmin
fun.
runs, but okay.
That would be
If that,
fun.
if
I tell you, if that was an in-game mechanic, I would do it.
Yes.
All right, so we're doing dungeons and even PvP for all the members and officers to enjoy the game, as well as learn what it means to be a part of a close-knit group of people, which is Grievance. Going back to Serpentis, the guild has actually started hitting Serpentis a little bit harder than we have been. We were able to clear the first room with only 9 people, as I mentioned earlier. It was a close call. They lost 2 DPS and a healer, around 40%. They didn't give up. And there's a video in the guild forums to see how it went down. Is that going to be on YouTube also for those people who aren't members to see?
It is on YouTube.
Yep.
There
Jack
you go.
put it up there on his channel. And actually, Jack, do you think you could link it into the stream?
Sure.
Into the
Let me,
chat?
yeah, I'll go find
That'd be
that.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then well, hold on, afterwards, because then everyone's going to go watch that instead of us.
Oh, smart man, smart man. But yeah, that'll be posted up during the cast, so you can go take a look at that. Actually, some pretty good runs, and there's also some bloopers in there.
Well, we have
Bloopers are
to
the
talk
best
about it.
part.
Yeah, so Spin, you
Well, go ahead and talk
wanna-
about it since we're in that part. Go ahead and talk about it.
So we made it through the first one pretty good. I was feeling comfortable as a tank. I thought, okay, I've got the routine now. Occasionally, it goes on for quite a while. You know, he lifts his foot. You have to wait there until his foot's all the way up. Then you got to dodge to the side quick enough so that he comes down and misses you. Then you count 4 foot stomps. Then you start looking for the punch, and you can dodge the opposite way for the punch because he's using the left foot. So it's one side. And then he uses the right hand to punch with. And when he punches, it comes out not in a line like I thought it did originally, but it comes out in a cone. So you have to, if you're too far away, you've got to step a lot farther to one side. So occasionally, you know, I'd get caught, and I was learning these things as we went along. And I thought I had it nailed. And we got to the second keeper in the room. And
A little overconfident.
yeah, maybe a little overconfident, but, you know, okay, everyone ready? Punch down. Okay, I guess I should have moved a little quicker that time. Didn't quite have it. And we did 3 or 4 of those. Yeah, exactly. And I thought, okay, something's up here. I'm going to try something different. I'm going to use Sundered Earth to start this so that he's slowed right off the bat, and it'll give me more time to dodge out of the way as he approaches me. So there I was. I sidled up. It's a 9-meter spell. I sidled up to 9 meters, and then I said, everybody ready? And I must have, you know, stepped back just a bit because apparently I was at 9.1 meters when I cast the spell, and the spell went right up to his feet and nothing. I looked at him,
Roger standing
he
there
looked at
waiting.
me,
That's
Nothing happened.
wonderful.
until everyone burst into laughter.
That's amazing. It's okay if it makes you feel better. Our runs are like we got down the first boss, like the first half of the fight. We were like, yeah, we got this, and we got to the second half, and like halfway through that second boss, our tank died, and we were like, what happened? We had this. What? Oh no! And then we wiped and had to do it again. We were like, oh man.
Went from hero to 0 in
Yeah.
less than a
Yeah, it's like,
No
millisecond.
second
the
slaps.
very like the first pull, the first time we're in there. Like I'm so used to anti-hero being my tank, so I had him targeted. I'm sitting there healing him while Spin's out there tanking, and he dies.
You don't even understand how many times I haven't had anything targeted and just been like throwing out my hearts and then been like, those are landing on me. Oh. It's bad.
Yeah, so we made some mistakes. Luckily, I was able to record a bunch of them, so I had a lot of. So
Yeah, the videos are great. And actually, I learned a lot about the fight watching the videos because as the tank, I see like the bottom of his foot and I see some hairy knuckles coming towards me, and that's pretty
Yeah.
much it.
Yeah, but when you get it from
At least
outside,
that's all you
It's a
see
little
there, buddy.
He's wearing a kilt, but it's not anatomically correct.
Oh dear.
All right, let's move on before we
Alright.
get ourselves in trouble here.
All right. Let's see. As most people have noticed, for more grievance news, Spin has been going through the guild roster and cleaning it up. Don't worry if you feel you've been kicked or released by accident. Please post in the community forums for AA, and we'll get you straightened out right away.
Yeah, I've learned to give a warning in guild chat before I do this because in the last 3 weeks we've released about 500 members who are no longer playing the game or in the guild and everyone has a bloody heart attack when they see Bing left the guild, Bing left the guild, Bing left the guild. What's happening?
Not again.
Please don't
Yeah,
kick me. I'm not a spy, I promise.
Yeah, I guess I could see how that would be kind of, oh my gosh, what the heck's going on? So, but yeah, so if you've been kicked or removed accidentally, we'll get you straightened out because we definitely want you as part of grievance. It was not anything personal. It was just We got to clean up the guild roster so we can see who we actually have playing on a regular basis. So, and it makes sense to do that. They do it on the forums too, So I think it makes sense to get to do that every once in a while, so we know where we're at.
Out of the first 500 people, there's only 3 mistakes so far, so it's a pretty reasonable rate.
Go ahead, just throw this out there. Something the Geeky Barista put in chat. He's taking a spin through the roster. I thought that was awesome. That was worth saying.
I get it.
I get it
too.
That was good, Geeky. That was good.
I'm a huge fan
you
of puns.
dash. All right. Speaking of changes that have been happening, recent officer changes include Jack Ray being promoted to office, being an officer.
First officer.
First
officer. That means like the third in command. So it's the guild leader, the XO, and the first officer.
Okay, first officer is okay. Gotcha. First means third. Gotcha. Well, congratulations or condolences, whichever you prefer.
We'll see how that plays out.
Sorry for your loss.
On your new responsibilities, Chilled Veins is now our new PvP officer. Chilled has lots of PvP plans and motion, is looking forward to seeing you out at the events. I think that after the cast tonight, there's going to be some PvP training. Am I correct?
Well, I just talked to him, and what we're aiming for is Thursday after the cast, do a little one-on-one training and get people who are good with PvP to do one-on-one duels with other people. And then Friday, before we go out for naval PvP, we'll do a little group training.
Perfect. Okay.
And hopefully we'll see Nice Trick out there on Friday.
Oh, there you go. Hey, she can come out tonight.
I love our naval PvP nights. They're wonderful. Last Friday, we managed to get a huge green versus red fight going on and managed to get tons of people from our side to just group up together and fight the reds, which is amazing and so unlike our server. Yeah. It's usually green versus green. So this time we had a really awesome green versus red fight, and it was just phenomenal. There's a stream somewhere and a video somewhere. I just don't know where it is.
I'm working on it.
That's good. That's good. That's awesome, because that's something that we definitely need to see going forward. But we'll touch on that a little bit. Also, Taylor is stepping down.
Talor.
Talor, sorry. I have been corrected. Talor will be greatly missed, as she was one of the first members to step up and become an officer after D-Day. If you don't know what it is, don't worry about it. We wish her luck in whatever game she may play after Arcade. So, also Nikita is joining Gabrielle as a farm manager. We are looking for members. If you're not a member but want to be a part of the fun, please apply at grievancegaming.org. Post in stream chat. Okay, see, that's what happens when you read things verbatim.
You're supposed to read notes.
Wait a minute, I'm not supposed to read that. So I need a teleprompter. That way I know what to say. But anyway, yes, if you're interested in joining Grievance, go to www.grievancegaming.org. There's plenty of posts there. Even if the Arcade isn't your game, if you're interested in any of the other games, we have embassies for other games. Please go ahead and do that. Also, later on in the cast, we'll get Reverences. Hopefully, she'll be kind enough to give us her guild's website or page where you can go if you're interested in joining them. Be more than happy to do that for us. Thank you.
Just a couple updates. No touchy on that. Anti-Hero also moved to the PvE portfolio. It's been empty since Still Breathing left. And Anti's been doing the job. And now we just gave him the title to go along with that job.
He have been trying to rally the troops to get them motivated. So I think
trying, he's doing. It's like Yoda. There's no try.
He brought some Reverence members into See a Drown Love attempt, and in our first hour, we almost had it. So
nice.
That was amazing. He's wonderful.
Yeah, I really appreciate Anti-Hero and his willingness to rally people around to say, hey, let's do something. So I think that's awesome, because you kind of, otherwise people kind of just like, well, I wish there was something to do.
Yeah.
So we're glad that he's picked up the mantle and decided to do that.
I mentioned that feareth me in chat. I just wanted to answer your question: how close are we to getting a castle, and is the BRA still owning the server? We are going to be touching on that in just a little bit when we get to server news. But I just had another spoiler, because I love spoilers. It's not all BRA owned anymore. The Brazilian Alliance.
Dun, dun,
okay,
dun.
enough spoiler.
Yeah.
Stop.
All right. Just stay tuned. We'll get to that.
All right.
But I will address that. As far as us getting a castle, we're not looking at a castle right now. We're focusing on a lot of different aspects of the game. but we're not going to be focusing on getting a castle anytime in the near future. We're busy having fun, grouping up, doing PvE, PvP, trade pack runs, crafting, everything we can think of, and there's just no room for us to have that kind of a focus. We're more concentrating on our guild members and making sure we're having fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it would be great to have a castle, but that is a lot of upkeep and a lot of responsibility. And right now we're trying to get ourselves where we're running as a well-oiled machine, doing the things that we need to do, like the dungeons and the raids and things like that. And then, in the future, if an opportunity presents itself, because it's not cheap to do this, to get a castle, but, to buy the castle siege token. But, hopefully someday in the future we'll be looking towards that. But right now we're trying to get our members in a good place, get better at PvP, because obviously if you can't PvP, you're not going to take anybody's castle. So
Unless you pay them a lot of money.
yeah, exactly. Just
Right.
lay down. Yeah, exactly.
And if
So
you
I
read
don't
the
think-
official forums, there's actually a matter of opinion about the PvP skills of the people who own the castles and the people who take the castles. There's a variety of opinions.
I mean, we've seen it firsthand from all the streams. The first Reds that tried to fight, I think it was, I don't remember if it was Lunaticus or Rising On, but they couldn't do it. Whatever tactic, PvP strategy they were using just didn't work. And this time,
Yep, 30
Yeah.
minutes.
and it was a matter of skill. Like you saw, they had a plan, they knew how to execute it, they did it, and it was successful in no time at all.
And the defenders didn't know how to defend against that.
They
tactic.
had no idea. What do we do? What's happening? And they were just getting mowed over. Like watching it from Slayer's perspective, watching them literally come in droves and just flatten the field. I was like, wow.
Well,
It was
there you go.
impressive. It was impressive.
It
They
showed.
had
It kind
a
of showed
good
me
strategy, yeah.
how undergeared I am for
Well,
PvP.
Yeah.
And plus, it really goes to show what can happen when you have people that work really well together.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And that's
And have practiced.
Yes,
Yes,
that too.
correct.
That is true. That is not their first castle attempt. So that's another important point that you bring up there.
Yeah, they learned lots of lessons along the way. So we've really gotten into the server news now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oops.
Well, just before
But
we
we
continue,
yep, disclaimer.
disclaimer, we're not necessarily allied with any of the other guilds mentioned in this portion of the cast. So that way we don't want anyone to say that we're friends with so and so and such and such, So, but anyway,
We may or may not be, but no.
yeah.
Yeah.
But as we mentioned, Phoenix Brigade was the guild that lost their castle to Slayers. As they said earlier, it only took about 30 minutes. And so, as you can imagine, they probably started destroying houses in there to put up their own.
Raise the taxes.
But, give credit where it's due. Congratulations for a well-executed plan. You can't fault them for that, even though they quote-unquote are our enemies. Basically, different faction. You can't knock them for having a plan and sticking to it and successfully doing it. I think it's the first successful take of a castle, correct?
On our server.
On our server? Yes, absolutely.
I know it's not the first. I know other castles have been taken. I just don't know if it's been on our server. I don't
Yeah,
think so.
I don't think so either, considering we know all the guilds that have it. We're part of the BRA, so. And also, just other server news, there was a free-for-all on Frida Island this last week. All three factions were involved. Jack Ray is working on a video from the battle, so watch the guild forums for that.
Let me interject on that one. It wasn't necessarily all three were involved, but it wasn't really a free for all considering the pirate faction was working with the Reds.
Yeah. They very
Yeah.
solidly
Very
placed their
solidly.
lot in with the Reds. And
Oh yeah, you'll see
I
it
think-
clearly.
for some of us, it was a little bit of a surprise because we saw the pirates come in, and I know that on Reference's side, we were like, I wonder what they're going to do. And then immediately they just turned and attacked. And I was like, oh, all right then.
Yeah,
Kill
that's
them, all of them.
That's kind of
fight
an
them.
interesting. I guess that's something that we'll have to watch out for going forward, because that would definitely tip the tide even more. Because from the way I see things right now, the Reds have made a huge resurgence on the server, and like Hacienda is not even, Greens don't even go there hardly anymore.
It's just completely flopped. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Which
has
is kind of
flopped.
ironic because Hasla, on the flip side, has been largely green lately.
Yeah, and so that's and I guess that's the way the ebb and flow of the game is going to be. Because I remember when, as a green, you couldn't even get into a Hostla, and then for a while, if you were red, you couldn't get into Hostla. So I guess it's one of those things that we have to watch. But the pirates picking a side to support is kind of disheartening. I would prefer them to just hate everyone
Nuke us all.
equally.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Kill everybody.
not ally with either side. But again, I don't know how many pirates there are, but that's something that we probably need to keep an eye on going forward.
Well, generally,
All
I
right.
think the pirates are for sale.
Yeah.
So
That
That
would
makes
there might be
sense. I mean,
elements of that.
mercenaries. I guess if you think of them as mercenaries, I guess that would be, that I wouldn't be against the renting out a pirate. If that's the way it's going to work going forward, but we'll have to see.
I mean,
All
at
right.
the end of the day, I'm a PvPer and I love to PvP, so whoever wants to fight, bring it. I'm a
There-
healer and I will heal the crap out of you. Bring it on.
All right, so we're going to move on to news from Tryon. If anyone's been in the cash shop, there's a new sloth glider. I don't have one because the price is exorbitant. If you get it from the loyalty shop, is 350 loyalty points, which is about 70 days of play.
It is 350 loyalty.
Ugh.
You have to log in every day to get 5 loyalty points. And if you don't log in, you lose it. So you have to log in consistently from wherever you are to get 350.
70 days.
It is a slow grind.
I'm currently sitting on about 385. So I'm
Woohoo.
trying to decide if I want a sloth glider just because it dances. That's so cool.
I
Or
want-
do I want a ton of Archaean trees? Those rumbling trees that are back in the shop as well? It's like,
Yes. Yep. That
well,
was
for
it.
me, all of my loyalty goes to tax, and just about, I'd say, half of my labor goes to tax too. So
yeah.
I don't have much room
Properties
for
that
that.
all
I
of my
should
loyalty
probably do
points,
that too.
all of my loyalty points are going into labor pots because I need them like crazy. Because I just picked up 5 or 6 plots of land,
Nice.
which are in wonderful places, like my 2 Crowns house right on the beach there that I love more than life. But
Hopefully not more than life.
Yeah, hopefully
more
not.
than
Yeah.
life. Like I can back my merchant ship up right on into the door of my house.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm still sitting on 2 8x8. So if anyone has a 16x16 or bigger they're looking to get rid of, look me up.
Get with me after the
Please help.
cast. Yeah, I know, I got too much taxes.
I don't have enough taxes, so.
Let's talk later.
All right, and also there's also a bug with the glider smoke screens that you can get out of the chest. Tryon is working on getting it fixed. So don't know how many people have gotten the sloth glider, had that issue, but if you have that issue, they're working on getting that fixed. All right, now we're going to go to do a little something different. As you see, we have Nice Trick here from Reverence with us, and we're going to do an interview with her, and Jack is going to be the one that conducts the interview, so I'm going to step aside for him. We'll get to learn a little bit about Reverence and Nice Trick, and just have a little fun with it. So you guys go ahead, and let's see what she has to say.
All right, so Nice Trick, before we really kind of get going on drilling you with these questions, just tell us a little bit about yourself and your gaming history and kind of what brought you into Arcade.
So I've played most games in the book. I really started heavily with World of Warcraft. I got into the closed beta actually for World of Warcraft back in 2004. It started very early on that, and played that until 2012, I guess, right at the end of Cataclysm is when I finally was like, okay, I washed my hands of this madness. I'm done. Because it got too easy, and I just got bored with it because I was a hardcore PvPer from pretty much day one. And did it with a top level 50 US guild on World of Warcraft for a very long time. It was just nuts. And then I transferred into EVE Online, which I don't know if many people are going to know what it is, but it's a sci-fi sandbox game. And it's part of what drew me to Arcade. EVE Online is very politics-centric, and it has a tendency to burn people out, especially if they're very involved in it, and it can get so boring sometimes. And sometimes you just want to shoot things, and they're like, well, you can't because we're allied with those people. And I'm like, but I just want to shoot them, please. So anyways, the alliance that I was a part of it didn't really fall apart. It's working on rebuilding. Test Alliance, wonderful group of people, and if you are new to EVE Online and want to play EVE Online, Test Alliance is where you go. Or Brave Newbies, go to them. They'll help you. That's my little plug for them. But And then I saw that Arcade was coming out, and I gave it a try in the open beta, and I was like, oh, it's EVE Online with elves to play this. Oh my god! So that's pretty much my thought process into why Arcade was the next game that I needed to play. I needed an MMO in my life, and I decided Arcade was going to be that MMO.
I have to admit, I would love it if ArcAge had some sort of mechanic like EVE where you could make certain guilds red to you. Because in
oh my
in
gosh,
EVE, you're allowed to, have
That is
things
awesome.
like NBSI, not blue shoot it.
Yep.
yes.
And you can only have your friends blue and everyone else can be red.
So it's
And-
it makes your KOS list, if you have one, a lot more manageable for your players, whereby
Absolutely.
if someone is out on field shooting things and they see a red, they can just be like, oh, that must be an enemy, I could shoot it. And if it's not, you can work it out later. Just be like, oh, it was a UI bug, sorry. Oops.
Well, that's the thing about that. That's the one thing about Arcade that a lot of people, especially with us, that caused the most issue with us. Nice doggy. That
She's
caused the
going
most
crazy.
issue with us was the fact that to defend your faction against same faction killing, you basically ended up having to become a pirate to defend your guys because you don't want to stand around and wait. You want to bring the fight too. And so if you
Yep.
bring the fight to them, you get your infamy points. Now you're a pirate, and now you can't be in the guild you're defending anymore. And I think that that's the one flaw in Arcade that they really need to address. That to allow, let's say, Grievance and Reverence, if they wanted to, even if it's a friendly war, hey, we'll just be enemies to each other, and there's not going to be any infamy points gotten or crime points getting gotten because you're in a war with that guild for however many hours, 72 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a free for all, and I think that Arcade, that's just my opinion, that Arcade itself needs something like that would allow you to get your beefs out without having to become a pirate to do
No, I
that.
definitely agree, and it would be good practice to have Greens be able to kind of practice on each other and fight each other, not necessarily in a duel, but in like a legit,
No,
just
a
throw
legit-
groups of people at each other and see what happens.
Yep.
And see who, and then it allows, especially as a PvP officer or a PvP leader, it allows you to really work on your style of leading and at the same time get people used to how you would run a PvP scenario if it were happening in real life.
So Tryon, I hope you're listening about that
I really do.
and the ability to TP someone's house. We'd like both.
yes, please, and thank you.
Please.
Special
please.
order.
It's a
Yes.
thing. It's a thing. TP.
That would be great to see. I mean, even
All
if you
right.
make the TP a hard to find item in the game, that'd be fine. But I'd go farm it.
I'd be out
If
there.
you want more people to grind, I will go grind for
Yeah.
for toilet paper.
What are you doing? Oh, we're farming toilet paper.
And
For the
some
guild
eggs.
house.
My wife already thinks I'm crazy.
Oh, no. Oh, there you go. All right. Sorry about that. That was
That's
just
quite
kind
all
of
right. Hey.
a little divergence, but that's fine.
That's all right. Okay, so we know you wanted to come to Arcade so you could be an elfin Eve, which is kind
Essentially.
of cool. So what's kept you here? What's been like your favorite aspect of the game currently?
Well, I mean, one thing that's unique to Arcade in general is its naval PvP. It's the one game that has done it and really got it right. And it's a lot of fun to do. And like we were talking about before, the Free for All, which is actually a really good name for it, I think. It was a lot of fun to go out there, and some people lost some galleons. We were out there for I think an hour before the fight really blew up for us because we were out there with some trade ships trying to run them in, and we got our trade ships in, and then we stopped and went, oh look, there's trade ships on the red island, we should stay and bait them out. And then one of our friends in Reverence actually ended up losing his galleon by doing something that they changed the mechanic on. They changed the way that guards aggro to your ship. If anyone's unaware of that, you should look into that. It aggroes to the cannon that fired, not to the ship itself anymore. If you guys didn't know that, be wary of that. But yeah,
So it won't blow up the ship?
It will if it's in combat for a long time, but it's up to the players now, I think, to blow the ship up itself. It's very odd. I'm not entirely sure if it's like a bug or intended or not, but that's what I've seen happen the last couple times where a cannon's been fired, the cannon's been fired on, and then that's it. It's really confusing. I don't really get it.
Yeah, and then if you try to heal someone, you get heal aggro.
Yeah, hooray! That used to not be a thing, and now it is. That sucks.
They hit hard.
But it's really definitely the PvP and the group of people that I play with, which includes Grievance. Grievance and Reverence really have kept me in this game. When Blackhand fell apart, I was like, great, there goes another MMO, what do I do? And then we formed Reverence, and then we got close with Grievance, and I was like, why did Black Hand hate these guys? They're awesome. What?
Yeah, we don't
So
know. either.
that's a great lead into the next question I had for you. It was just kind of from an outside perspective, like how do other guilds view Grievance?
Remember, if you say anything bad, we're just going to drop you from the call.
Yep.
Oh, all right, okay. Grievance is the best thing ever. No.
Okay. And now the
But-
honest part. No.
No, the honest answer is that I think a lot of people, when they think of Grievance, still think of the old Grievance as people who used to purple up on greens and kill greens. But there's a lot of guilds where Reverence is helping and change this opinion for a lot of guilds because, you know, we as Reverence have spent a lot of time with Grievance. They've helped us with trade runs. Anytime we're in a pinch, we call Grievance. Grievance are right there to help us, which is amazing. And we thank you so much for that because we're a very small guild. And without you guys, I don't think we'd be able to get much done, to be honest. I mean, I would like to say that you're our closest allies. Hopefully, I speak for Blake and the rest of Reverence when I say that. I think that it's a cool relationship, and I think that we got a cool thing going. So.
Yeah, it does. I mean, that goes the other way too. Whenever, like, if we're doing a trade run and we know we're gonna face some hostile waters, we'll let Reverence know, hey, what do you guys do? And like,
what's going on?
well, we'll get at least like 3, 4, 5, sometimes more. It's awesome. You guys come out real quick, you respond, and so yeah.
That's
do the
kind
same.
of a sucky thing that we got saddled with because, you know, we didn't just purple. As far as I know, most of us never purpled up on greens for no reason. And so I guess we kind of got the shaft in that respect because we were defending ourselves against whatever slight that happened to us. And so therefore, from the outside, it's like, oh, look, they're purpling up against that green and not even knowing the reason why we're doing that. So it's good to know that another guild has got our back and say, hey, listen, you need to look beyond what you're seeing and see that they're not purpling up just to be douchebags. They're purpling up to, you know, to defend someone. Or let's say Reverence got the trade pack stolen by whatever other guild. Well, they're defending them, so don't look at it as they're purpling up against their own faction. They're doing it because it's the honorable thing to do.
Well,
And way
right.
back when we had, 1,100 tunes in the guild,
Oh my goodness.
we didn't have to take crap from anyone.
No, we
So-
did not.
And if there was a little
Right.
bit of crap, all of a sudden, 50 or 60 grievance members would show up, purple up on someone who was griefing, one of our members, and, rain down hell. Not so much anymore. But, when you do that enough, all people are going to see is the fact that it was done. They're not going to look for the reasons behind it. Plus, we never played in the forum war on the official forum, so we were going to lose every time.
No, but it's a good thing that you didn't because the people that did, ironically, those people that did play in those forum wars are looked at as like, wow, they must be like super tryhards. They're such losers. We hate them. Like the people who played those forum wars are people that either no longer play the game or are just completely shafted on the server now because it's ugh.
Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
Back then when we were in Black Hand, we were told Grievance is kill on sight, but we never really knew why. But we had to do what we were told, and because back then we were part of the council when I was with Black Hand, and they were in the Council of Aranor. The Council of Aranor said, "Well, they're kill on sight," so we were like, "Well, okay, I guess they're kill on sight." And that was all there was to it. We didn't ask questions, but it's nice to be on the other side of the fence now as Reverence to say, well, why is Grievance on the KOS? And to be able to have gone to PB and been like, Grievance has done nothing. There's no reason for them to be on a kill list, and it's silly, and you should just not do that. And to be part of the solution to fixing that problem.
Well,
yeah, we
thank you,
appreciated that.
Bill.
Yeah, very much so. All right, so next question. Here's a tough one. So, with all the recent events that we've been talking about on the server, like the Slayer's Castle Siege, one thing we didn't mention yet was ZFZ going green and building a bunch of siege tanks. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're not going after Slayers, so that's going to cause some
Pretty.
interesting situations. And just the new alliances that are starting to form up and stuff like that. How do you see that changing the server as a whole?
I see a lot more smaller guilds starting to pop up, less larger guilds, which is really interesting to see that kind of shift in power balance. Really, is what it is. You've got smaller guilds. A lot of larger guilds are starting to fall apart. It seems like, and smaller guilds are breaking off, and personalities are changing into smaller guilds. So that's exciting to have a lot more people to play with and stuff. And although the server and the numbers have gone down quite a bit, things have gotten more interesting as a result. Like you said, Slayer, this is the first successful siege of a red on a green castle. So as much as I'm like, oh man, PB lost a tower, that really sucks and it makes me really sad, it's exciting to see, a red versus green conflict really start to go somewhere. And I see that a little more. Even though there is still a lot of green on green action, we're starting to see a little bit more of it shift towards reds. When we do a call in faction chat and we say, hey, look, a bunch of greens are fighting on Friedrich, everyone else should come out, and people just start Xing up for invites. It's exciting.
Crazy, yeah. It's to see like a stream of X's in your chat. It's like, whoa.
I was like, yay! And it's good though because it's, usually you see when that happens, you'll get the greens that come into the raid, and then they'll quickly drop raid and then start purpling up and killing other greens. And that used to happen quite a bit, and that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. I think people are starting to realize that, the reds are the people we can PvP, and we don't have to fight each other anymore. Although I'm not sure ZFC got the memo.
Yeah, and guilty and provocation. I've heard rumors that they're not so bad, but
they're not so bad.
Yet.
They're not.
They are
so
to
bad.
us.
Well, that's because you guys are on each other's KOS list. So that's where that is. We need to sit
down and talk. All right.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Maybe we should talk. Okay. Anyway. So, what are some of the main obstacles that you kind of see with greens coming together?
Pig-headedness? No, I'm kidding. Kind of. No, but I understand there's a lot of history on the server already. I know the game's only like a year old, not even 6 months. But there's a lot of history between a lot of people and a lot of guilds individually on the server. And that shows in their interactions all the time. A lot of greens, when they see ZFC, even when I don't see ZFC purple up on anyone, people see ZFC and automatically they're like, well, they're pirates, so we have to kill them. And I'm like, well, they're not technically pirates anymore. We could try to bring them back into the green community and make them feel welcome, but people don't feel that way, and they just want to kill ZFC because they used to be pirates and because of some trade ship they ganked 3 months ago or whatever, Yeah. And it's a lot of people holding on to grudges is really what it is. That's the big stopping block to green unity, is people being like, no, that guy called me a jerk in Hasla, therefore our whole guild is KOS to him. And I'm like, you mean two of you disagreed over loot and Hasla, which everyone does all the time, and so you're KOS to each other? Really? Like, that's your reason? Grow up.
Yeah. People do live in the past
words.
A lot. And it's something you have to avoid in diplomacy. And I think one of the reasons why the green faction hasn't come together is because we didn't have to in the past. We got in the habit of fighting each other. Mm-hmm. And even now the red is rising. It hasn't been such a big problem that we've realized we've got a common enemy to bring us together yet. And that might be in our future.
Hopefully we'll get there.
Well, absolutely, because look what happened with the Reds. The Reds dominated. They fell apart. They literally dissolved. Mm-hmm. Coalition, Swiggity Swooty. The biggest juggernauts on that side, literally, they imploded and they
overnight.
Literally also rans, and that's why Greens were able to rise. And now what's happened to them happened to the Green faction is now all the big guilds are starting to not be as strong as they were. And, and so there definitely needs to be a move towards a unity on the green side so that we can at least say, hey, you've pushed us, we've pushed you back, you've pushed us, now it's time for us to push back. Because right now it doesn't seem like we can do any pushing at all.
It's definitely true. When we come up against the Reds, normally it's a brick wall. But I think that fight on Friedrich really showed that the Greens still have fight and power in us, and if we really do pull together, we can accomplish great things.
Yeah, how many of their siege tanks did we destroy?
Oh god, countless. I don't even know. It was so many. And they had them on the border of their Nuia shrine, and we were just rain of arrows into it, and 2 or 3 would die. It was great.
It was fun. It was fun. So here's a kind of question for anyone that's out there that's not currently playing ArcheAge. They may have used to, and they're not now. Why is now a good time for them to come back to ArcheAge?
Well, land prices are down, which is nice. A lot of people are leaving the game, and I understand that this isn't really everyone's cup of tea. It's definitely mine. I'm definitely enjoying it. But there's a lot more land out there, which is good. And like I said, there's a chance here that the Greens are starting to come together and actually fighting against Reds. And the PvP is really the hallmark of this game because I'm going to be honest, the PvE can kind of suck sometimes, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah.
But they really got to work on the kinks in the PvE. But I know that the PvE was secondary for ArcAge and it was not the focus, and the focus was the PvP. But that's really what's interesting about the game, and it's heating up and it's getting more interesting. And if you enjoy PvP-based games, ArcAge is definitely a great game for that.
Yep, absolutely. And it's one of the games, unlike EVE Online, that PvP was the focus, not PvE, because most games, PvE is the focus, and then PvP is usually, okay, we got to tack that on so that we can accommodate and make those people happy. So this game, in that respect, did it right. When it comes to the PvP was the main focus, and PvE. Now, those of us who like PvE are like, they really could have done a lot more with that. So
I agree, because I love PvE. I came from a raiding background. I didn't come from a PvP background, really, although I got a lot of experience in yelling at people in EVE Online. I'm really good at it now. But I mean, I would like to see the PvE improve. Really, I'd just like to see like a place where I can go to see a boss and his list of abilities and how much damage each ability does. Like that would go such a long way. Because now I don't know what ability that is, but we need wings for it, as opposed to this is how much damage it does, this is how it's mitigated, this is how it's avoidable, this is the type of damage. I would love to see that. Trion, if you're listening, please.
Spoken like a true min-maxer.
Yeah,
Yes,
let's start watching those combat logs and let's put it together.
Yeah, let's get this figured out. How do we mitigate this damage? How do we not need wings? Because wings is supposed to be your oh shit button, not your I need it to successfully do this raid button.
Yes, absolutely. It's just like when people first started going to the GHA, and the magic boss.
The third boss,
Yes, everyone was like, you have to have wings to do this boss. You just can't do it without wings. But now we can do that fight without wings at all because we have learned the mechanics of the fight and say, okay, if with this configuration and group makeup, we can do this fight without having to have 3 people with a gimped class because they have to have protected wings in it. Well, I mean, in terms of that would not normally be what they would be playing.
Absolutely.
They only play it just for one ability.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's push forward to the interview.
Sure.
All right.
I just got one last question is, people know where to, here I'm going to link it again, people know where to get information on Grievance, but where can they go to get some more information about Reverence?
So it's reverence-gaming.com is where we're located. I could link it. Where do you want me to link this? In the stream?
In the stream is fine.
Can I even do that? Do you guys have it set up so I'm able to?
I think so.
Try it and we'll see.
I guess we'll find out.
I see it.
Randy beat you to it.
Oh, did Randy beat me to it? Thank you, Randy, for beating me to it. I don't have it open because I didn't want my internet to crap itself. So thank you, Randy. So that's where you can find us if you want to figure out what we're about. We have guild statements and everything there ready to go. If you also want to know more about us, don't ever feel shy about coming into our TeamSpeak and just talking to us. It's a great group of people and they're always open to chat. Almost a little too much sometimes. Looking at you, Odious.
I'll jump in that channel.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, Odious is always talking. Well, if it's not him, it's sometimes you.
Yeah, I talk a lot.
Yeah, but hey, it's great. It's a nice, lively chat. It's fun. So yeah, we bounce back and forth between each other's TeamSpeak all the time. It's kind of fun.
All the time.
So that's pretty much what I had. Does anyone out in the chat world have any extra questions for Reverence or for us right now, at that matter? Anybody? Oh yeah, I forgot. There's a delay. I gotta wait. See if there's any questions.
Yeah,
30
wait,
seconds. Yes.
Okay. All right. Too late.
Well, it depends. Between 20 and 30. We'll split it in the middle.
There you go. Somewhere.
But yeah, so this week I normally go on a rant. Not doing so this week for time constraints, but we'll be back to doing a little editorial next week. So if there are no questions or whatever, we'll let Spin head us out. And if there are any questions, we'll answer them at the end of the cast. But right now, we have a little stuff going on afterwards. So we want to go ahead and give it to Spin, our illustrious guild leader, for some final words.
All I want to talk about today, guys, is just to remind people that the guild meeting happened Wednesday. For those of you who didn't quite make it, we had a pretty good turnout, but not everyone was there. Shadow was kind enough to make a recording, and it's up on the website. So go check it out. Listen to the guild meeting. Catch up on the latest events while you're in game doing your farming. These are some background noise while you're planting, plucking, doing whatever you need to do. The big thing I want to talk about is we're looking towards a guild goal of, I refer to it as carts, fins, and ships for everyone. So that's within the guild, we're going to look at how we're going to equip everyone, including spending some of our reserve of money and resources to get people the equipment that they need to enjoy the game. And for some people, that's going to be trade ships. For some people, that's going to be carts. We're going to help you get there. And we've done it in the past through the DKP process. But now we're looking at something more focused on the individual members and helping people and making sure we all get to the level where we're geared to do everything we want to do in the game, from trade pack runs to dungeons to PvP, and do it successfully. So thanks very much for your attention. Thanks for tuning in tonight. And I'll turn it over to Jack and then Nystric if they have any final words, and No Touch, you can wave us goodbye.
My final words, I just put another link into the Twitch channel. That is the video that we brought up earlier. I told you I'd give it to you. So go out there and just don't judge me too hard. I'm not the best. Hey, you do get to see me like smack the boss in the ankle with my mace a few times. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I kind of saw that too. It was like, it looked like you were waving at him.
It's always really exciting as a healer when you get to actually hit stuff. You're like, yes, I hit things.
I know, I did like 200 damage.
Nystric, anything?
PvP, kill Reds. Kill Reds dead. Help us kill the Reds. That is what I have to say about Arcade.
Uh-oh, he's put the video in the stream.
Yeah, Dash, put the video up.
Here we go.
All right, here we go.
All right, we'll be quiet for a minute. Oh, he's not playing the music. Okay, so anyway, but anyhow, we want to thank you guys for watching the Aurorian Age tonight. We'll be back next Thursday, 8 Central. Please follow us here on Twitter and on Twitch, grievancegaming.org, or Grievance Gaming here on Twitch and on Twitter. And we hope to see you guys next week. Thank you for watching the Aurorian Age, and you guys have a good night.
Oh,
thanks, Dash, for producing, and thanks, Chilled, for the notes.
Hey, yes. Thank you, guys. Good night,
Good night,
guys.
everybody.
Have a good night.